I'd like to start with something controversial, if you might say. How many of you are from sales? Marketing? The marketing's in majority. They're not really in harmony always, are they? Marketing says, you know what, you guys are not converting the leads we're giving you. Sales is saying, marketing is not giving us good enough leads. What do you expect us to convert? How do you expect us to make the money? But there is a tiff, right? Each team is always blaming the other team. So where does it end? Because if you look at it, their ways might be different, the means might be different, what they do might be different. But in the end, they're all working for one objective: closing more deals, making more revenue, and bringing more growth to the company. And if this objective is the same, then why are we fighting? Let me take you over a brief scenario. If I want to look for something, I want to buy something. Let's say I'm buying chairs for my office. What do? I Google it first. And after I've searched it, I've clicked on the ad. I move to a landing page where they ask my information, my email. So I give them that. So what happens next? Now the next here, which is the back end of the CRM. So information flows from the landing page back into CRM, coming in as a lead. Then your sales rep follows up upon it. That gradually moves along the sales pipeline, ultimately to bring you the money. What happens after that? Or rather, where is the problem? Your lead comes in, no problem, no doubt about that. I fill in my email ID, I fill in my name, that comes into CRM as a lead. Very good. But the source information that says, I have come from Google AdWords, that important source is dropped midway. So if you look at your CRM screen, you would have the lead source blank. There's no information. So it's more like a relay race where the baton is the lead. It has to pass from one team to the other. Over time, keep moving, because the first touch point is marketing. Then it comes to sales. But then if it's dropped midway, there's an information loss. Sales cannot convert it if there is an information drop. And if the drop does not happen, this is how your CRM screen would look like. You would see Google AdWords marked against the source, where you pretty much know, all right, so this is the lead that has come through Google AdWords, so I know how to tailor my pitch on it, and I'll come to that in the slides that are next, which is the relay begins, right? So we saw the ad. From that, it came to the website, which is the landing page, and then moved to the form, and then it comes to CRM. And this is how it moves into further down the pipeline. That is, when you don't configure, this is what you see. It's all empty. The first one that you saw was the source information. The one you see next is more further information, like keyword. Now I typed contemporary office chairs. The salesperson doesn't know that, or doesn't have to know that, you might say, because it's a marketing thing, right? Advertising and stuff like that. So it's empty. They have no information. Compare that with, if you pass on the information, what would you see? You see all the details that are there. You see the kind of device I accessed it from. You see the search network. You see the keyword that I have used to type. So if you know that I have searched for a chair, the sales team starts their pitch right from selling chairs. They don't waste their time going about what all you have to offer, and rather get to the point faster, right? I'm looking for chairs, but then unless you do it, you would not know it, because you are not mind readers. What are the problems that arise if you don't do this? First, marketers or the marketing team cannot attribute the right campaign source while passing leads to salespeople. Now, I don't mean to bog you down with jargon like campaign source, but what I'm just trying to say is when marketing cannot find the source that they're passing a lead to sales, how can they attribute which is the right one? Second, salespeople treat all leads alike. AdWords is not free, right? You're spending for every lead. You spend to get a lead. But unless your sales team knows that you're spending $5 to $10 on bringing each lead, how are they going to give it the importance it deserves? You can't let it go like any other lead because you're paying for it. And the most important problem, marketing does not know how their campaigns are doing. I mean, sure, you're getting leads, but what happens after that? If I'm a marketer who's advertising, I get leads, I pass it on to sales, all right, job done. We close it there, but it doesn't end there, does it? Unless I know what is happening to these leads after I pass it to sales, I do not know if I'm doing a good job with my ads. I don't know if I'm successful with my ads or not. And the solution is to integrate Google AdWords with Zoho CRM. And how can you do that? It's quite a very simple process actually. So you can go to extensions and APIs. Under that, select Google, and you will see 3 options there for Google integration. You can integrate contacts, calendar, or AdWords. Choose the third one, that is AdWords. After that, you just get a brief intro about what it is. You get started. You sign in to your standard Google account because if you're trying to integrate it, I understand that you have a working AdWords account. So you sign into your Google account. Select the success criteria. I will not elaborate this slide now, but slightly further down in the presentation I will come back to this slide. So you select your success criteria and your integration is ready. So at the bottom of the screen at the end, you will find an option that says Google AdWords tab. When you finish the integration, this takes about 15 minutes to show up. And once the AdWords tab shows up, what happens next is you get a straight report in your CRM on what's the AdWords account, how many impressions are you getting, what were the clicks, and how many of those leads have you converted. And not just that, but also how many deals you've won. So it's a straight money spent versus money earned. As per the screen that we are seeing, I can see that I've spent 950, but I've earned 500. So, okay, 400 is what I've lost. A healthy margin would be to obviously make more money than we spend, right? And we can do that if we optimize our ad campaigns better. So that was about configuring the AdWords side. Now when I went to that landing page, that website, I filled in my email ID in a form. So you have to configure that form also, right, if you want the information. So you build a standard web form in CRM or any other third-party form builder per se, provided they support it for AdWords. And you just have to select one checkbox there. You just have to enable tracking leads along with AdWords. Because if you disable that, that's where the button drops. So Google click information, all that source information is dropped. So the web form no longer passes it to your CRM. And when you enable it, all that is passed. There's no loss. After you do this, you have the AdWords enabled landing page with a form there. So that was about tracking leads, right, through Google AdWords. Let me ask you one question. Do leads generate money? How many of you think leads generate money? No, they don't. Deals do, right? But then why have we been doing this fundamentally wrong? Why have we always been measuring advertising as a function of leads? You say, you know what, you ran this ad campaign, how many leads have you got? Does anyone ask how many deals has it brought? No, they do not, because you cannot track it. You can track leads, but you normally cannot track deals. But then if it's a straight ROI count, leads don't give you money, right? So we should start measuring deals. And the key to that is to complete the relay. That is, till now we've been seeing information pass till the last stage, that is deals. But what is crucial is to complete the last step, that is link this information against AdWords advertising information. So that's when you form a complete picture rather than a partial picture. And why should you do this? One, you get a complete lead to deal full cycle picture within Google AdWords. Two, you get a better understanding of your ROI. As I said, money spent versus money earned, not just against leads. And third, you optimize campaigns based on completed sale and not just on lead gen data. So if the marketing team is generating a set of leads, let's say they've generated about 100 leads from an ad campaign. If none of them have converted, then if you don't do this, the marketing team is still going to say, you know what, my campaign has given you 100 leads. But you weren't able to close any. You couldn't make any money from it. That means they didn't do their job. They should optimize that campaign. So this is an example of Google, pretty much the full cycle. That is the ad, then the landing page. What happens after that? Your sales rep follows up by phone or by email or meeting them. Post which you have to upload this information back to Google and create that sync. That is linking it against deals. But what's the special part here? This many other CRMs do. Nothing great about that. Salesforce also does that. How is Zoho special? The last two steps are automated. Not even Salesforce does that, no other CRM. We automate this information passing from your CRM, that is all this advertising information, back to Google so that you measure it as a function of deals and you get a better picture. It's here I'd like to highlight that, I'm sure many of you might be slightly uncomfortable about sharing your data to Google. There are privacy concerns, but then obviously there's no compulsion to do this. You can do it only if you're convinced about it. And again, without having to send your info back to Google, we are trying to do a workaround where we are trying to come up with a solution, but that's still in the pipeline. And I said I'll come back to this slide initially. And this is the one where, when I say success criteria, it depends, right? We're not all the same. One sales manager might say, as long as a lead is created, I deem the ad to be a success. Some of you might be more tough. You might say, no, I want to see the money, only then do I consider this to be a success. So when you want the third case, just select only the third option, that's the deal. Remove the other two options. So which means you'll start tracking ads and leads only against a function of deal creation, nothing else. So when you select the success criteria, what happens to your AdWords dashboard? The same criteria that we saw, 1, 2 and 4 are what are shown on your AdWords screen. Again here, you see conversion information, you see conversion value, you see cycle times, and you see all that information is synced between AdWords and CRM. So why should you do this? It's just 4 points. Pretty much a no-brainer if you are depending heavily on Google AdWords for your leads and your business. 1, you get to focus on the right keywords. Because if I'm advertising chairs, shutters, shades and everything else, how do I know which is the category that's working best? Unless I measure it, I cannot improve it. So I stop splurging money on the keywords that are not giving me revenue, while I start spending money on the keywords that are bringing me business. So I spend more on office chairs and maybe I'll cut down my budget on window blinds. That will be the sensible thing to do. And second, you get to personalize your sales pitch. Normally, when you go on a cold call, you start by talking about who you are, what's your company, where you're from, what all you're into, and all that. But this is like a fortune teller. What if you knew what was in the customer's mind? So they want to buy chairs, they're interested in interiors. You already know that before making that call. So you craft an entire sales pitch based on what they want rather than what you have to offer. And the third, you can understand how each of your campaigns are performing. So if the flooring category is giving me more business, all right, let's spend more there. If kitchen cabinets and countertops are making less money, okay, time to optimize that campaign. Maybe something's not right there. And in the end, you get to align your sales and marketing teams. Because when we are working towards one objective, it makes no sense to take different routes. You have to be together. You have to work together, align with each other, and ultimately make more revenue. Thank you.